Audi has been conspicuously absent from the full-size luxury SUV segment for far too long, ceding ground to BMW, Mercedes, and Range Rover while the market exploded. The 2027 Q9 changes the calculus entirely. What makes this interesting is not just that Audi is finally entering the arena, but how they are choosing to compete. This is not an imitation of what already exists. Audi appears to be redefining what a flagship SUV should prioritize, and frankly, the established players should be paying attention. The Q9's front fascia represents Audi's most confident design statement in years. The single-frame grille has evolved beyond the octagonal shape we have seen across the lineup, adopting a more vertical, imposing stance that commands attention without veering into aggressive territory. What strikes me immediately is the restraint. Where the BMW X7's kidney grilles have grown almost cartoonish and the Mercedes GLS attempts to look tough, Audi has maintained elegance while achieving presence. The LED matrix headlights are exquisitely detailed, incorporating micro-lens technology that creates a jeweled effect. In my view, this is how you signal premium quality to buyers who appreciate subtlety over spectacle. The lower air intakes are functional rather than decorative, a detail that speaks volumes about engineering priorities. The rear design showcases what I consider Audi's greatest strength: proportion. The Q9 sits with a stance that looks planted and purposeful, with a roofline that does not sacrifice rear headroom for the sake of a coupe-like silhouette. Honestly, I appreciate this decision. Buyers in this segment are not purchasing vehicles to make fashion statements, they are buying them to use. The OLED taillights span the full width, creating a signature that is unmistakable at night without being garish. The tailgate design is clean, almost austere, with chrome accents used sparingly. Here is my critical observation. Audi has resisted the temptation to add unnecessary character lines and creases that many manufacturers use to create visual interest. The result is a design that will age gracefully, something buyers keeping vehicles for 7 to 10 years genuinely care about. Audi's interior philosophy has always centered on driver orientation and material integrity, and the Q9 dashboard elevates both principles. The layout employs what Audi calls a stage architecture, positioning the main display and controls in a sweeping horizontal plane that feels open rather than cluttered. What impresses me is the quality hierarchy. Top touch surfaces use open-pore wood, hand-stitched leather, and brushed aluminum that feels substantial under your fingers. This is not the lightweight, cost-engineered fakery you find in lesser vehicles. The digital instrument cluster integrates seamlessly, but physical controls remain for climate and volume, a thoughtful concession to usability. In my assessment, this interior justifies the premium pricing because it delivers tactile satisfaction that touchscreens simply cannot replicate. The second-row accommodations reveal Audi's understanding of how these vehicles are actually used. Individual captain's chairs are available naturally, but the 3-across bench does not feel like a penalty box. Legroom exceeds what you will find in the X7, and the seat bottom length provides proper thigh support for taller passengers. The available executive seating package includes heating, ventilation, and massage functions that rival what you would find in the Mercedes S-Class. What I find particularly clever is the integration of USB-C ports, wireless charging, and tablet holders that fold discreetly into the seatbacks when not needed. Third-row access is genuinely adult-friendly, with powered second-row seats that create a wide entry path. The MI Touch Response system spans dual displays, with a 12.3-inch upper screen and a lower 10.1-inch panel for climate and comfort controls. For buyers who remember when cars had buttons, Audi provides haptic feedback that approximates the sensation of pressing actual switches. Your opinion on this will vary, but I find it a reasonable compromise. The Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system, with 23 speakers, represents a genuine performance upgrade, not just a badge. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard and wireless, mercifully. My personal take: this system balances modern functionality with long-term usability better than the overwrought interfaces in some competitors. The Q9 debuts Audi's next-generation driver assistance suite, including predictive active suspension that reads the road ahead and adjusts damping in real time. This is not gimmickry, it genuinely improves ride quality over broken pavement. The Level 3 autonomous capability on highways allows true hands-free operation in appropriate conditions, though regulations will determine where this functions. What resonates with discerning buyers is the night vision system with pedestrian and animal detection, a feature that provides genuine safety benefits rather than just technological bragging rights. The available air suspension offers multiple ride heights, and can lower the vehicle for easier entry. Honestly, some features feel superfluous. The gesture controls strike me as solutions seeking problems, but the core technology serves practical purposes. Compared to what Mercedes offers in the GLS, Audi focuses more on functional innovation than showy demonstrations. Audi will offer the Q9 with a range of powertrains, including a turbocharged inline-six with mild hybrid technology, a plug-in hybrid variant providing approximately 40 miles of electric range, and eventually a full battery electric version. Based on Audi's recent engineering trajectory, we can expect the chassis tuning to prioritize composure over sportness. This is a vehicle designed to cover continents effortlessly, not carve canyon roads. The Quattro all-wheel drive system remains a defining advantage, providing confidence in adverse conditions that rear-biased systems cannot match. My honest assessment of the performance balance: Audi is not chasing 0 to 60 numbers because their buyers are not either. They are engineering for refinement, long-distance comfort, and durability. The efficiency targets appear competitive with the X7 and GLS, which matters increasingly as fuel costs remain volatile globally. The Q9 will likely start around $85,000 and climb past $110,000 with options, positioning it directly against established competitors. The value proposition hinges on whether buyers trust Audi's late entry brings genuine advantages rather than just catching up. In my view, the Q9 offers compelling reasons to wait rather than purchase an X7 or GLS today. The interior quality appears superior, the design will age better, and Audi's reputation for engineering integrity resonates with buyers prioritizing long-term ownership. Who should buy competitors now? Those needing immediate delivery or preferring established service networks. The Q9 signals that luxury SUVs are evolving from status symbols towards sophisticated tools for discerning use. That evolution favors companies engineering substance over spectacle. Audi is late to the full-size luxury SUV party, and they know it. While BMW has been printing money with the X7 and Mercedes has refined the GLS into a Maybach on stilts, Ingolstadt has been conspicuously absent from the battlefield where six-figure SUVs are traded like stock portfolios. The 2027 Q9 isn't just Audi playing catch-up. It's their declaration that the four rings deserve a seat at the table where Range Rover, Escalade, and the German competition have been dining for years. But here's the uncomfortable question nobody at Audi wants to answer. Is the Q9 a genuine leap forward? Or is it a $120,000 admission that they should have built this 5 years ago? By the end of this analysis, you'll know whether Audi has created a segment leader or an expensive apology. And yes, we'll talk about pricing, because that's where this entire strategy either validates itself or falls apart. Let's address the elephant in the room immediately. Audi's design language has been evolutionary, not revolutionary, for the better part of a decade. The Q9's front fascia continues this philosophy, and whether that's strategic brilliance or creative bankruptcy depends entirely on your perspective. What we're looking at is a massive interpretation of Audi's single-frame grille, now wider and more vertical than the Q8, pushing closer to the upright proportions that American buyers seem to demand in this segment. The grille itself measures nearly 4 feet wide, and Audi has made the calculated decision to keep it prominent, even as the industry rushes towards sealed-off EV faces. This is interesting because the Q9 will launch with hybrid powertrains, meaning this grille is partially functional and partially theater. The lighting signature represents where Audi still leads. The digital matrix LED headlights, likely standard on upper trims and optional on the base model, incorporate micro-LED technology that creates what Audi calls a seamless light carpet. Each headlight assembly contains over 1.3 million micro-mirror devices, allowing for resolution that makes BMW's laser lights look like they're from 2015. In practice, this means the Q9 can project warning symbols onto the road, communicate with pedestrians, and customize welcome sequences. Is this necessary? Absolutely not. Does it give Audi bragging rights in the technology arms race? Without question. The daytime running light signature flows into a chrome beltline that wraps the entire vehicle, a design choice that creates visual length, but risks looking dated in 5 years, when minimalism inevitably swings back into fashion. Here's my honest take on the front design. Audi is playing it safe, and for the 55-plus buyer, with multiple luxury vehicles in the garage, safe might actually be smart. The Q9's front end won't offend anyone at the country club, won't look ridiculous in front of a serious business, and won't age as poorly as BMW's controversial buck-toothed grille experiments. But it also won't make anyone do a double take in traffic. Compare this to the Mercedes GLS with its Panamericana grille, or the Range Rover's floating hood design, and the Q9 feels like it was designed by committee rather than a single visionary. The European market will appreciate the restraint. German buyers, in particular, tend to favor understatement over ostentation. But American buyers, especially those trading in Escalades or Navigators, might find the Q9's front end too polite for a vehicle that costs as much as a graduate degree. The front overhang is impressively short for a 3-row SUV, suggesting Audi has pushed the front axle forward and the cabin rearward to maximize interior space. This creates a hood that's almost comically long, reminiscent of the original Audi Quattro's purposeful stance. The lower fascia incorporates active aerodynamic elements, including shutters that close at highway speeds and open for cooling during aggressive driving or towing. Speaking of towing, the Q9 is expected to pull 7,700 pounds when properly equipped, putting it in genuine competition with the body-on-frame Americans while maintaining unibody dynamics. The front skid plate is more suggestion than function, rendered in brushed aluminum that will never see a dirt road but signals capability to buyers who want the fantasy of adventure without the reality of rock crawling. The rear of the Q9 tells a different story, and it's here where Audi's design conservatism becomes either timeless elegance or a missed opportunity, depending on your tolerance for subtlety. The taillight treatment uses OLED technology, with each light containing multiple segments that can be illuminated independently to create different signatures based on drive mode, charging status, or owner preference. Audi claims 18 different lighting signatures will be available, which feels excessive until you remember that personalization is currency in the luxury segment. The taillights connect via a light bar that's become obligatory in modern design, though Audi's implementation is thinner and more integrated than the thick LED strips BMW bolts onto everything. What strikes me about the Q9's rear three-quarter view is how successfully Audi has disguised the vehicle's mass. This is a 3-row SUV that will likely measure over 17 feet long and weigh north of 5,500 pounds. Yet the tapered roofline and rising beltline create an illusion of agility that the spec sheet won't support. The D-pillar is blacked out to create a floating roof effect, a design trick that's been overused across the industry, but works here because Audi has the discipline to keep the contrast subtle rather than cartoonish. The third-row windows are larger than those in the X7, suggesting Audi learned from BMW's mistake of making the way back feel like a cave. Adults who find themselves in the third row, rare as that might be in this demographic, will at least have windows large enough to prevent claustrophobia. The rear hatch is power-operated with gesture control, a feature that sounds convenient until you've accidentally opened your tailgate 17 times while washing the vehicle. The rear bumper integrates trapezoidal exhaust outlets on models with combustion engines, though I suspect these are more decorative than functional, with actual exhaust tips hidden higher in the rear fascia. This kind of aesthetic dishonesty bothers purists, but reflects market reality. Buyers want the visual suggestion of performance without the maintenance headaches of exposed exhaust tips that corrode and discolor. Here's where I'll plant my flag on the rear design. Audi has chosen strategic maturity over bold statements, and for their target buyer, this is exactly right. The 60-year-old executive replacing a 7-year-old Q7 doesn't want a rear end that screams for attention. They want something that photographs well in the driveway, looks expensive without being ostentatious, and won't feel embarrassingly dated when they trade it in 4 years from now. Compare the Q9's rear to the Cadillac Escalade's vertical light blades or the Range Rover's asymmetric tailgate, and Audi's approach feels almost German in its refusal to showboat. But that's the point. This is a vehicle designed for people who've already proven themselves and don't need their SUV to make statements their career already made. The rear glass is steeply raked, which creates aerodynamic benefits but reduces cargo volume compared to more upright competitors. Audi claims the Q9 offers competitive cargo space, but physics suggests otherwise. You can't have a sleek roofline and maximum cargo capacity. It's a trade-off, and Audi has chosen aesthetics over utility, betting that Q9 buyers prioritize appearance over hauling plywood. They're probably right. The integrated roof spoiler adds a subtle performance element without looking like it belongs on a teenager's tuned Civic, and the rear diffuser incorporates active aerodynamic elements that deploy at highway speeds. Whether these make any measurable difference in efficiency or are simply engineering theater is debatable, but they look purposeful, and in luxury vehicles, perception often matters more than reality. The technology suite in the 2027 Q9 represents Audi's attempt to reclaim leadership in a category they once dominated. Remember when Audi's virtual cockpit was revolutionary? That was 2014. Mercedes has since developed MBUX with AI learning. BMW has integrated curved displays with iDrive 8, and even Genesis is offering technology that feels a generation ahead of Audi's current systems. The Q9 needs to be a technological reset, and based on available information about the concept, Audi understands the assignment. The interior is dominated by what Audi calls a panoramic MMI display, a curved screen that flows from the driver's sightline across to the front passenger. This isn't particularly original. BMW did it first with the AX and i7, but Audi's implementation shows more restraint. The driver gets a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster that can be configured in multiple layouts, though seasoned Audi owners will find the core interface familiar. The center touchscreen measures 14.5 inches and controls climate, media, navigation, and vehicle settings. Here's where things get interesting. Audi has finally ditched the awkward touchpad controller that nobody liked and has gone full touchscreen with haptic feedback. Each virtual button provides physical sensation when pressed, using actuators that simulate mechanical switches. Does it work as well as actual buttons? Not quite, but it's closer than any previous implementation, and it means the interior can be reconfigured through software updates rather than physical redesigns. The front passenger gets their own 12.3-inch display, a feature that Mercedes popularized and everyone is now copying. Passengers can watch movies, browse navigation, or control entertainment without bothering the driver. The system is intelligent enough to prevent the driver from seeing video content on the passenger screen while in motion, using eye-tracking cameras that monitor where the driver is looking. This technology feels slightly dystopian, cameras watching your eyes to enforce rules, but it solves a legitimate safety concern while preserving passenger freedom. Rear seat passengers in the second row get individual 11.6-inch screens mounted to the front seat backs, with wireless headphones, HDMI inputs, and USB-C charging. The third row, perhaps recognizing that adults back there are suffering enough, doesn't get dedicated screens, but can connect devices to the vehicle's 5G Wi-Fi hotspot. Audi's connectivity ecosystem now includes integration with Amazon, Google, and Apple platforms simultaneously, meaning regardless of your ecosystem preference, the Q9 will cooperate. This kind of agnostic approach is smarter than forced loyalty to a single platform. Is Audi keeping pace with Mercedes and BMW in the technology race? Barely. The MBUX system in the current GLS feels more intuitive, with better natural language processing and more sophisticated AI learning. BMW's iDrive 8 offers cleaner graphics and faster processing. But here's my take. For the demographic buying the Q9, Audi's more conservative approach to technology might actually be preferable. The 58-year-old replacing a Q7 doesn't want to relearn everything. They want evolution, not revolution. They want Apple CarPlay to work flawlessly, which it does. They want voice commands to understand basic requests without requiring specific phrasing, and Audi's system handles this adequately. Do they need AI that learns their habits and predicts their needs? Maybe not. The technology serves the luxury rather than overwhelming it, and for buyers who remember when a car phone was cutting edge, the Q9 offers sufficient advancement without requiring a computer science degree. The safety and driver assistance package includes everything currently available in the segment. Adaptive cruise control with stop-and-go capability, lane keeping assist that actually works without fighting the driver, automated emergency braking with pedestrian detection, cross-traffic alert, blind spot monitoring with exit warning, and a surround view camera system with 3D visualization. Audi's system adds predictive capabilities, using navigation data and vehicle sensors to anticipate hazards before they're visible. Approaching a sharp curve, the system pre-adjusts suspension and recommends speed reduction. Highway traffic ahead? It begins regenerative braking before you see the congestion. Here's my honest opinion on Level 2 Plus driver assistance. These systems are genuinely useful on long highway drives and legitimately annoying in every other scenario. The Q9 system can handle extended highway cruising with minimal intervention, changing lanes when you activate the turn signal, maintaining safe following distances, and even navigating simple highway interchanges. But it's not autonomous driving, and Audi wisely avoids marketing it as such. These systems are insurance mandate checkbox exercises that happen to provide real value about 30% of the time. The other 70%, you're fighting with technology that thinks it knows better than your 40 years of driving experience. The Q9 allows you to adjust intervention levels or disable systems entirely, which shows Audi respects that their buyers aren't teenagers who need constant supervision. Luxury features and materials are where the Q9 needs to justify six-figure pricing. The base model likely offers leather seating, though real leather is increasingly controversial in European markets, where sustainability concerns are driving manufacturers towards synthetic alternatives. Upper trims will offer Valcona leather, Audi's premium grade, with diamond stitching and contrast piping. Second-row captain's chairs are optional, reducing capacity from 7 to 6, but adding individual armrests, power adjustment, heating, ventilation, and massage functions. The executive rear seat package, almost certainly standard on the top trim, adds power reclining seats, extendable leg rests, 4-zone climate control, and a refrigerated console for beverages. Ambient lighting is now expected in luxury vehicles, but Audi has refined it into something approaching art. 30 color options, multiple zones, brightness adjustment, and integration with drive modes and navigation guidance. Approaching your destination? The lighting shifts to your personalized welcome sequence, selecting dynamic drive mode. The cabin lighting switches to performance-oriented red accents. It's theatrical, but theater is part of luxury. The panoramic sunroof spans all 3 rows, with power shades that adjust opacity electronically. The Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system, likely optional on base models and standard on upper trims, uses 23 speakers including tweeters mounted in the headliner to create genuine surround sound. Is it better than the Burmester system in the Mercedes GLS or the Bowers & Wilkins setup in the X7? Audiophiles will debate endlessly, but all 3 are excellent and all 3 are wasted on buyers who predominantly listen to podcasts and conference calls. Which features justify the premium and which are gimmicks? The massaging seats, genuine value for anyone who spends hours in traffic. The gesture controls, gimmick that works half the time and frustrates the other half. The premium sound system, worth it if you actually care about audio quality. The refrigerated console, extravagant luxury that you'll use twice and then forget exists. The power closing doors, convenience that feels excessive until you're carrying packages and it becomes indispensable. This is the nature of luxury vehicles. Half the features are genuinely useful, the other half are there to justify the price and provide talking points at dinner parties. The powertrain strategy for the Q9 reveals Audi's uncomfortable position between regulatory pressure and customer preference. Europe demands electrification. America still wants internal combustion, and Audi needs to serve both markets with platforms that share components for cost efficiency. The base Q9 will almost certainly launch with a turbocharged 3.0-liter V6 producing around 335 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, paired with a 48-volt mild hybrid system that adds minimal power but enables features like extended stop-start functionality and regenerative braking. This powertrain is adequate, moving 5,500 pounds with competence but not enthusiasm. 0 to 60 in about 6.2 seconds, which is perfectly acceptable for a 3-row luxury SUV and perfectly unremarkable compared to anything else in the segment. The volume seller will likely be the plug-in hybrid variant, combining the same 3.0-liter V6 with an electric motor integrated into the 8-speed automatic transmission. Combined output around 455 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque, with an estimated 30 miles of electric-only range from a battery pack mounted under the floor. This powertrain makes sense on paper. It satisfies European emissions regulations, qualifies for various tax incentives globally, provides impressive performance when needed, and offers the possibility of electric commuting for buyers with short daily drives and home charging. In reality, plug-in hybrids are often the worst of both worlds. You're hauling around battery weight that reduces efficiency when running on gas.